What's up, CineNerds? Merry Christmas. We're diving into our Christmas episodes. I'm GP Cross,
And I'm Ryan Newhouse. Merry Christmas.
and the next 2 weeks are our holiday picks for you. And before we get into that, CineNerdsPodcast.com. All of our episodes are there, all of our streaming links are there, our updated schedules there, and there's a shop there. What's on the shop?
I don't know. Maybe if we had some kind of a way to show them what we have. So for those of you who can't see our stream here, I've got the CineNerds mug and the hoodie on today. So I'm fully repping. Very comfy hoodie, especially in this 18-degree Arctic blast we got going on here. So before we got on this episode, I actually told JP I was gonna hit mute because I'm probably gonna cough, and he's the one dying over here.
Mine went as a drink. Dr. Pepper went down the wrong hole.
Oh boy. Oh
Oh,
boy.
so all the .coms are out of the way. This week, my pick, the 19, is it 97?
97.
96? 97, the 1997 horror film, horror quotations, Jack Frost.
Not to be confused with the 1934 Jack Frost, not to be confused with the 1979 Jack Frost, and not to be confused with the 1998 Jack Frost, the 1997 horrible, horribly cheesy yet fun movie Jack Frost.
And I will say, I want to say this before we dive into this movie. And saying this, I'm going to initiate what might be our next top five. This is one of my. This film actually has one of my favorite sequels.
You know what's funny is after I got done watching this, I didn't know there was a sequel. God damn it. But I saw the sequel, so I did add it to my queue because I'm curious now, not for any other stretch than just curiosity. But yeah.
The sequel to this is fucking amazing, and I had watched this film. Let's just go ahead and get into initial impressions as I kind of explain this. So, I had actually watched this film when it originally released because it came out on direct to video in the late '90s, '97, and I did not like you.
Come on.
I did not know that there was a sequel, and so knowing that I had seen the original in like '97, I'd seen the original multiple times. I had only realized that there was a sequel to this film like a couple years ago. Never seen it, the sequel, until like probably 2 years ago. And I watched the sequel and I was fucking, I don't know what else to say other than flabbergasted at what I had watched and what I had been missing out on with the Jack Frost sequel. Because, man, it embraces what this film is wholeheartedly, even more so than the original.
Which is not hard.
um, initial impressions, I already said a little bit. Like I watched this film. My daughter's mom, she actually worked at a video store called Movie Max in my hometown of Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and so when this movie came out, I saw it, and she always brought movies home all the time for free, because she was an assistant manager at the store. This was one of the movies she brought home, and I was like, "Oh, I want to see this." I watched it, and I was just like, "Holy fuck! What did I just watch? This film is fucking ludicrous." So I actually kind of initially fell in love with this movie as soon as it came out, and it may have even been, if you remember, it may have been before it came out because you remember video stores back then used to send screeners home like months before the movie actually hit video rental. I actually, now I'm thinking about it, I think it may have been a screener that I watched for this film.
Oh, you must have been so lucky and felt so blessed to be able to get the screener of this. Could you could you tell the tone of my
I wish I still had that screener because Jesus. what a piece of history that is. Uh, but yeah, so I had seen it. I had seen it back. I had seen it back then, and yeah, I had fucking enjoyed this movie then. I've owned it on DVD since then. I don't own it on Blu-ray, so I think that might need to be an upgrade for me.
Okay. My initial impression, every 10 minutes almost on the dot, I was like, "What the fuck did he make me watch again?" The scary thing is, this is right there with Thanksgiving and turkey, and it's got a higher budget. I haven't even seen, I just imagine it has a higher budget, because 3,500 for Thanksgiving was insane, but,
It's a way bigger budget. We'll get there, but I will say before you get any further past that, and this will blow you away. The original budget for this film before the
30,000,000, I saw that,
30 million. This was
and
originally budgeted at.
because it was supposed to be a straight horror film and be, like, legit, and they were gonna
Yeah,
have it, city settings, more CGI'd snowman, they're going the full 9. Do you know who the actress was they were eyeing for it? It was Gina Davis, and she read the script and said it was the biggest piece of trash she's ever seen, and
it was
she d
Gina
ended up doing another
Davis,
movie.
and she read the script and said how horrible she thought the script was, and walked away from this movie and went and did Cutthroat Island.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess she was at that point in her career where things weren't so great, so,
So this is your first time watch.
yes, for obvious reasons.
No, that they're not obvious.
Now, I see the good in everything, I try to. So I do have some positives that came away from me for this movie, but it wasn't much.
Man, we're on two different spectrums here.
I mean, they I'll tell you what pulled me in this movie are 2 things. A, the dad jokes, and B, a naked Shannon Elizabeth in her first role and her first nude
Yeah,
scene.
that's my first note on this is Shannon Elizabeth, really big smiley face.
Of course it is. I love the bathtub scene.
You
I
mean
guess
the
that was one
rape
of the last
scene?
scenes they shot, but well, the way that they did it going into that, yes, and that rape scene involved a, 12-foot lift that had to bring them up so they film it correctly because of the snowman, so it was kinda interesting learning about those aspects of the film, but, yeah.
Yeah, it's originally they said that scene was he was supposed to beat her against a wall and beat her to death against a wall, but by the time they edited it, they realized that's not what it looked like, and so they just went with it.
I mean, if that was the intention, I guess it's a little bit better because essay and all that jazz, but so, yeah,
Alrighty.
the actor who played this, his name is Scott McDonald, and he's just a weird looking dude. He looks like he could almost play the Joker, so it was a little bit fitting, but also he was a pretty awful awful, actor when he was leading up to his becoming Jack Frost.
Well, have you heard what he did at his audition?
Was he the one that pulled the knife?
He's the one that pulled the knife on the casting directors.
I mean, way to make an impression, but that shit wouldn't fly now.
Oh yeah, today's casting that would be all bad.
I will say it's weird. So I was looking back at his he's done a lot of voice work, obviously. He did voice work for Twisted Metal, the video game, Star Wars, The Old Republic. He was actually in Fire in the Sky, that movie about the alien abduction.
Mhm.
So like he's actually got a decent career. He's kind of like that guy in the background you don't know about or ever hear about. So interesting.
I've actually watched Fire in the Sky pretty recently, and I do not remember him in that.
Yeah, he's the main dude who gets kidnapped. It's like one of his good friends.
Hmm. I'm about to go back and actually just take a look at that just to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shannon Elizabeth is in this.
I mean, the only saving grace for sure.
Now,
Now that's her
th-
first role though, because I actually before I realized that, I was like, why the fuck did she take this role? Why she doesn't need to. Like I was thinking that, but everyone's got to start somewhere.
I mean, it's kind of like what's her name's first role was in Leprechaun, uh, Jennifer Aniston.
I mean, different caliber, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Jennifer Aniston though is like fucking massive, massive star. I mean, she is a
I
fucking star, and
I'm gonna go as far as to say I'll put Leprechaun on a different whole scale though than this movie. Come on, dude.
or Helen Hunt's first role in Trancers.
I always do forget about that.
So yeah, there's a few of them. I mean, this is. I mean, there's quite a few actors. This is where they got their start in horror. You know, I mean, you got Corey Feldman, you've got Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's another one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but at the same time, like it's I think we're talking apples to oranges here though, because Jack Frost is just so much lower of a tier than those movies. Sorry.
Well, we're comparing '80s horror to '90s horror. That's the difference.
Bro, whatever. this 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 the only other saving grace besides Shannon Elizabeth were the dad jokes. Like, for instance, what's the difference between a snowman and a snow woman? Snowballs.
Snowballs. That's actually in my notes.
Oh,
I
I'm
actually put snowballs. Eyes turned sideways.
um, this prompted a whole thing for me. Like, what do you call a Christmas wreath made of $100 bills? Aretha Franklin's. Ah! I got more dad jokes through the episode. Don't
I
worry,
was
they're
say
coming.
say the dad jokes in this movie alone should make you give this a
But
five-star rating because you post nothing but dad jokes online.
I actually am behind. I haven't posted any dad jokes in a while, but I do have a little batch here of Christmas ones just for this episode. Now that said, that said, I will also give this movie credit with the like. I thought Thanksgiving had the worst cheesy one-liners, but this one not only has equally cheesy one-liners, but a multitude of them. We're talking like easily 4 times what we heard in Thanksgiving.
It's a longer movie.
I don't care. I'm trying to give you positives here, JP, because I don't got many. I
There's a
did.
lot there's a lot of positives. Let's just take a quick plot summary. This movie starts the there's a serial killer and bumfuck Egypt sheriff catches him on a fluke. He gets a death penalty. They're transporting him to carry out his sentencing. The the transport vehicle, has a head-on collision with another truck that is holding
During a
some
snowstorm.
during a snowstorm that's holding some kind of chemical. Well, the serial killer gets out. This chemical gets all over him and turns him into a snowman, essentially. So the snowman, Jack Frost, is now going back to that little uh, country bumpkin town. Yes, I'm saying this shit because listen to me how I talk. I'm Southern. I can get away with this. So this country bumpkin town, and to kill this sheriff, and he goes on a killing spree in this town, and they can't figure out how to stop him because he's a snowman, and he can melt and refreeze and keep coming at you. That's the gist of this film.
I mean, you not only did you care enough about this to choose it, but you saw substance in a story that wasn't there. So I applaud you.
There's
No,
a
they did. They
there's
did
a
try.
plenty of a story here.
I mean, is there? It's not really that deep, but I will say it is cut and dry. It is uh, revolved around a small town scenario where everyone knows their neighbors and the snowman starts its killing rampage and people are confused and it starts off with this. Well, sorry, the second kill is the sheriff's son is trying to decorate the snowman because he sees it outside and he's got his hand in the snowman's mouth, and you see the icicle teeth forming. That was kind of cool. So I'm thinking this kid's gonna get his fingers chomped, and the bullies show up. And so when the bullies show up, dude, this was such a cheesy scene, but it was so because I did find myself laughing. That's what I'm saying. I might talk shit about this, but I did laugh out loud at that.
Yeah.
So the kid's just sitting there staring, and the snowman trips the bully or whatever happens, and the bully falls down as another boy's sledding by with one of those old school like wooden sleds with the metal rails and slices his head off. I was like, how fucking sharp was that sled? Jesus Christ.
And not only that kill, when the trucks, the head-on collision, I laugh so hard at that head-on collision every time I watch this film because the two trucks and especially since the Family Guy episode of the two trucks, that's what I always think of when I see this scene. The two trucks that hit each other head on in the Family Guy episode, and one of them's chocolate, one of them's peanut butter, and there's a guy there, and they're both the truck drivers there. You got chocolate, my peanut butter. You got peanut butter, my chocolate, and this guy comes up and takes a bite, and his name is Reese's, and he creates Reese's cups. I always think of that scene because when these, for whatever reason, it's really just because these two trucks hit head on, and like when they go to hit, it goes to a slow motion, and there's like a little ding, and then like basically an explosion. And I don't know, I always think of that Family Guy episode with the Reese's, and I laugh.
I don't know what you're talking about because I don't watch Family Guy or South Park. And I know I'm an anomaly. I know I'm one of the rare ones who doesn't watch that shit, but I don't.
Well, that's how Reese's cups got invented. Two trucks collided. Two truck drivers. You got peanut butter in my chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut butter. According to Family Guy,
All right.
it's science.
According to Family Guy. Yeah, yeah. Family Guy's the rule, apparently. I was so confused. I'm like, is he really trying to tell me that's no, that's not what happened. Um, I mean, there's some people who die on fake news hills all the time, so who knows? I don't know.
somebody,
Um,
somebody, somebody will believe me and think that's how Reese's cups were
yeah,
invented.
yeah.
So
See,
take that to take
misinformation.
take that to the bank. That's how Reese's cups were invented.
If you had to ballpark the kill count in this movie, what would you guess?
Oh, I didn't even. I usually try to count, and I did not count. So let me.
I've
One,
been
two.
since we choose a lot of horror, so I've been trying to keep up with this.
I'm gonna say at least 10.
Technically, no, but on film, yes. So 10 to 11 deaths attributed to the killer snowman, but he's a serial killer, so he had 38 victims prior. So
Yeah,
they're
I was
putting
counting on screen, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, and the kills are fun to say the least. They're better than things killing for sure.
Oh well, they're more inventive. They're creative. I mean, you got the. I think it's the third kill. The the dad goes outside and he hears something and he's like walking all around Jack Frost because he's just sitting there as a snowman in his yard. Like you wouldn't even question why is there a fucking snowman in my yard with an axe, and he comes to life and grabs the axe and shoves it down his throat.
And that was impressive, by the way.
Yeah, it was. And then he goes in and gets the mom and wraps her in
So that was
which
my favorite. I'm not
that
gonna
one's
lie, that
great.
one.
And I love when the deputies get there because they he wraps her and like kind of kills her with lights and he strings her up onto the Christmas tree. And when the deputies get there, they look at the sheriff and say, "Should we take her down or should we wait till after Christmas?"
Oh, so there's tons of that. Those are good. Those are the like things that make the movie move along. And like, if you're somebody who takes movies seriously, this one's not for you. If you are able to just sit back and enjoy a cheesy horror comedy, and you're cool with that vein of music, like J or that vein of movies, like JP is, then sure.
This is the kind of movie I love. I
Oh, I
love
know.
it.
Listen, there you're gonna see in some of my upcoming reviews, I have purposely gone out of my way to find some of the dumb fuckery with the worst titles of movies and the worst look to them. And my next my next stretch is gonna be cheesy movies JP would choose. So, so I've got a bunch lined up.
I wonder how many of them I've seen.
We'll see. We'll see.
Um, So there's a lot of great kills, and there's all kinds of just little jokes and jabs and things of that nature. Um, some of the music and it wasn't all the music, but there was certain parts. And I think the first time I really noticed it, I think was during the mom's death scene where he's stringing her up on the Christmas tree. The music, it definitely was. The music sounded like something you would hear in SpongeBob being played at like Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, definitely have that vibe for sure. And if I remember correctly, didn't he kind of crucify her against the tree?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. He kind of
yeah.
crucifies her and strings her up on the tree like a
Mhm.
fucking ornament, crucified ornament.
Hey, why did the snowman have a smile on his face?
Why did the snowman have a smile on his face?
He could see the snowblower coming down the street. Oh, don't worry, I got more. We're gonna keep going with this.
You're gonna have to do the dad joke thing more often.
We'll see. We'll see. These are Christmas themed. I have to, especially with this movie gave me reason like this and Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, maybe I got to bring the dad jokes out.
The the sheriff puts the town on lockdown or curfew, but Shannon Elizabeth and her boyfriend, whatever for whatever reason, they break into the sheriff's house to have sex, and the amount of clothes that those two kids have on, they're taking off, is mind blowingly amazing. Because there's like a 5 minute scene of them actually removing clothes.
What do you mean those kids? Who cares about the other kid? Shannon Elizabeth taking off her clothes. That's what we care about. All the way down to that wonderful black thong. I'm going to hell.
And then at that point, it takes them 5 minutes to take all these layers and layers and layers and layers of clothes off to get to nude Shannon Elizabeth. And she goes and says, "Well, I want wine and a fire." And she goes up and starts blow drying her hair. Jack Frost comes in, kills the boyfriend because fuck him. He's not important. What's important, Shannon Elizabeth. Shannon gets her hair dry and she sees a bath has been ran and she thinks her boyfriend has ran a bath for her. So after she dries her hair, she decides to go get her hair wet again and get in this tub.
And when she does that, I'm like, is your name Jingle Bells? Because you look ready to go all the way. Sorry.
But that ding.
I swear to God, these weren't scripted. They're just falling in my lap here.
um, unbeknownst to her, the bathwater that has been ran is not bathwater that's been ran. It's actually a melted Jack Frost, and he starts freezing, and Jack Frost emerges, and he is all intertwined with Shannon Elizabeth, and he doesn't have a nose. His nose is gone. His carrot nose is gone. And it commences to the rape scene we talked about at the very beginning. And they're gyrating and jerking, and all of a sudden he just throws her down and she's dead. And then he grabs his nose from someplace and puts it back on his nose. And he actually says, uh, as he's doing this, he says something to her, says, "It ain't fucking frosty.
Yep.
I'm the world's most pissed off snow cone." And
Well, there.
then he commences to say, "Christmas came early."
Yeah, that was that one was a rough one.
So yeah, the rape scene is fucking hilarious, but it is a rape scene. I mean, essentially, she is raped to death.
But all right, so JP and I talk about practical effects all the time. You got to remember, like this suit that he's wearing is the same exact Frosty suit almost with a cooler face that I wore in my second grade Frosty the Snowman play. So like it's giant bubbles, giant globes of snow that are like it's like practical as hell, and there's no actual. It's just a implied. But so it's not anything like last week we covered Strange Darling, or 2 weeks back, and when we covered that, we were talking about there's some really difficult essay moments in that movie. This isn't like that. It's definitely like if you were to see a Muppets essay scene, that's what we're looking at.
I've seen that.
I don't even want to know, JP. I
No,
don't want to know.
it's a Peter Jackson film, so you know it's classy.
What do you, what's the how do you come up with this shit? Where do you
No, Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings.
I understand what he's done. I know his resume, but
Do you know his resume before Lord of the Rings?
yes, and he had some wonderful what was the first one he did?
Well, he did Bad
Dead Alive.
Taste. He
Dead
did Bad
Alive.
Taste. He did Dead Alive. He also did a Muppet movie called Meet the Feebles, and all the Muppets in it are having sex and doing drugs to the entire thing. Like Muppets will be smoking crack
So, but
in
this
this
is
film.
like, but, but this is like the movie you had me watch about Wizard of Oz, the Under the Rainbow or whatever, Over the
Yeah,
Rainbow,
yeah,
whatever it's called. It's a bunch of midgets doing cocaine, drugs, alcohol, and sex. Now he's got Muppets.
yeah.
Where do you find this shit?
Done by fucking Academy Award winning director Peter Jackson.
Oh boy.
So they start trying to find Jack Frost's weaknesses. They find out hair dryers are one of his weaknesses because the heat and air.
Which is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because at one point, there's the first time when they realize that where the sheriff finds a hairdryer because for whatever reason his secretary has a hairdryer on her desk and he picks it up at the station, which is just weird. And then towards the end, you've got four people all with hair dryers, all things extension cord, walking towards them. He's like, ah, no. It's almost like Pee Wee Herman doing his death scene in fucking Buffy.
Buffy.
Ah, no, ah. She was so rough, but it was funny.
And they actually push him into a furnace and thinking that they've killed him, but the condensation, he comes back. Uh,
So the genetic material, I don't know how deep JP went with this. I zoned out for a second. The genetic material that the lab was working on in the truck that crashed into them, this genetic material mixed over. Why are you? JP is grabbing his face in hysterics right now. I don't know what's going on, but
I'm laughing that you went so deep. I don't know if you went into the scientific process of all
not
this,
the
but I
scientific process, but I
but
listened.
JP, I did. I've got the lowdown on how this actually happened.
Well, according to the movie and the structure of the story that wasn't there. So this material like bonded itself to his cellular structure, and so now he's like an immortal snowman. Yes, he has a weakness we find out towards the end, but every single time the dude fucking melts down, he reforms. So it's like this is and to boot, it's not just the snowman part. It's somehow the coal, the sticks, the carrot, the scarf, all that shit somehow comes back. That I don't understand. But hey, whatever.
Science.
Blow dryers and science. Yes.
So they find his actual weakness to how to stop him, and they find it on a fluke because the kid, the sheriff's son, had made him a snack
Oh my
for
god.
the day.
Rewind. Rewind. Hold on. I wanted to talk about this actually. So I originally, when you were going to ask me my initial impression, I was going to go, this is actually a story about a sociopathic little boy who tries to poison his father. Because that's what happens. He makes his father fucking oatmeal with antifreeze in it.
Because he told his dad he takes this oatmeal, chocolate oatmeal, and actually hits Jack Frost with it. And if you're watching the video, you see the picture I have up next to me right here, and you see half his face is melted off, and that's actually from where the oatmeal melted his face.
But,
And he's asking his son like, what'd you put in that? Because he wants to know, because obviously it hurt him. And he's like, I wanted you to stay warm, so I put antifreeze in it.
now, as someone who's had a cat die from antifreeze poisoning, I was like, I was so thrown back by this, and I was like, listen, because my youngest, he's 13 now, but even at age 8, 9, 10, he understood chemicals can kill you. Like, so this little kid is just a sociopath. I'm convinced, and that was his easy way out.
It's children like this kid is why we have warning labels on everything.
I'm a fan of Darwinism. I think we should leave warning labels off and just let it sort itself out.
Oh, I might not have made it.
I'm shocked our generation did survive as many people as we did. The dumb shit we were doing. Anyways,
Um, so he tells the local shop owner to go get off his antifreeze, and he puts it in the back of his truck. And he fights Jack Frost, and they fall into the back of this truck, and he melts.
he tarps the back truck so that they can
Yeah.
hold all the antifreeze.
So they both fall in. Jack Frost melts all into the antifreeze. They put all the antifreeze in jugs, bury it into the cemetery as the FBI and everybody shows up, and the end. That's the
Well, hold on, go back because there's a part during
f-
this when they're burying the antifreeze. There, there's one dude in the background pouring it into his car. So does that play into part two?
the antifreeze does come back into
But
part two, and there's a kicker with it too that makes it even better in part two. I don't want to give that
oh,
away because you're going to watch it, but the antifreeze does come back. He does separate himself from the antifreeze, but antifreeze there's a mutation. Just leave it at that.
so so by the time this episode airs, the day after this episode airs, I will post my review of the follow-up sequel to this movie because I'm curious. I mean, if nothing else, I'm in a good holiday spirit. So if you had made me watch this some other time of the year, I would have been like, "What the fuck?" I would have been so mad. But because I'm in a holiday spirit, let's go.
Oh, so yeah, that's the end of the movie. And the main sheriff, I can't remember his name. He's not really been in a lot of films that I remember, but he's the main guy in this film. He returns for the sequel. He actually died. He died by an avalanche, a snow avalanche in
Like
real
in real
life.
life,
In real life, like this guy died.
Like South Park didn't tell you.
No, South Park didn't tell me. This is you can you can actually look this up. This main actor actually got buried in snow and died. Talk about irony.
Yeah, that sucks. If only you had antifreeze. That wasn't a dad joke. That was just funny.
That was a dark joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, originally this film was had a $30 million budget. That all got scrapped. Gina Davis was originally attached. She left to go do Cutthroat Island, which we talked about all this. So the bank took over because the production company went bankrupt before the movie, like a week or two before filming started. So the bank actually took over and financed the movie, but left the creativity to the directors. They had no hands in it. So
Yeah,
the
complete
directors
creative freedom.
had complete creative freedom of this film. Then the bank watched the film after it was done and said it was horrible and refused to release this film for 3 years. This film sat for 3 years before they conned another production company to buy it from the bank for, I think it was $50,000 or something that they bought it for, the rights for, to release it. And it went straight to video, direct to video. There was no theatrical release for this.
Shocker.
I would have went to the theater and watched this film.
You know what was another fun tidbit on that? So when it went from the $30 million budget to the, I think it was like a $500,000 budget, whatever it ended up being, um, because I did not read the budget, JP, I swear, but this was one of the little trivia things. The cotton budget. Do you know about the cotton on the set?
Because it was an abnormally hot winter and there was no
Like,
snow, and so they
yeah.
had to actually use create snow.
So, well, they used Create Snow and cotton for the set. So everything you're seeing is fake snow because it was like 70 degrees they're shooting. It was like a drought year for winter, I guess. And every scene, every day they're shooting, this cotton would get dirtier and dirtier. So you can kind of see in the background dirty cotton if you look close enough. And they didn't have budget or money to replace the cotton because it was so yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about budget because he's already read the budget. The budget for this was a half a million. It was
Oh,
500,000
okay.
for this film. So that was the budget. There was no theatrical numbers because it was direct to video. But for me, 500,000 on this film is incredible. This film looks great, and this film knows what it is. I mean, it knows it's a comedy. It knows it's not a straight up horror film, which is what they originally intended with the 30 million budget was a straight horror film. With a $500,000 budget, they didn't do a straight horror film. They said this is going to be stupid. Let's make a stupid fucking film, and that's what
Yeah.
they did.
As stupid as Gina Davis thought it was before she bailed for Cutthroat Island.
This is a much better film than Cutthroat Island. Just throwing that out there.
I haven't seen Cutthroat Island either. I'm not a huge Gina Davis person. I yeah, not a
I've never been a huge Gina Davis fan either, but I watched Cutthroat Island when it came out mainly because Matthew Modine was in it, and I liked a lot of the stuff Matthew Modine was doing around that time period, and it's not good. I mean, and that's coming from me. It's not that good of a film.
yeah.
So ratings.
I guess I got to go first in this, huh? Yeah, we'll leave you for second to
Yeah.
hype it back
I
up.
actually don't know where I'm going to rate this because I'm mixed. Do I rate it based on my feelings of the film, or do I rate this off of what the film actually is and actually give it a legit rating?
I mean, if you care about the film, I'd just rate it off your gut. I mean, so I mean, because you chose this, you obviously care about it. You think it's funny, so if you like it, stand by it. For me, this one's gonna be on the lower side, but it did try. It did had moments where I found myself laughing. Shannon Elizabeth definitely makes the rating higher alone, even though she's minimally in it, but her scenes matter. Um, I love the dad jokes. I love the quirky humor. I like that they understood that they weren't going for serious. I mean, once you definitively establish that, then you can kind of reel in what your parameters are, what you're going for, who your target audience is. And I think once they did that, they landed it. Now, the one thing I like is cheesy as the rest of the film was, I feel like that sheriff, he kept his character straight laced and he stayed true to the character. He did not buckle. You never saw him smile. He tried to commit to his role. And like I would have been dying laughing if I was on that set, his position, and he did a great job of holding it together. So, given on budget, the understanding of what it was, the comedic elements, the fact that it may or may not have pissed off some moms and dads because they rented the wrong one the following year. That's the Michael Keaton one. All these things made for a better score than what I probably would have given it had I not known those things. So I'm going with 2.4 nerds from me.
Okay. So, so, so this is the thing.
A deep breath of the deep sigh says it all for me. I feel great because you chose this and that was how you started your rating. Carry on.
So, I don't think that I would ever want to see a $30 million straight horror film version of this film. I think this film is perfect how it is. I think a $500,000 budget for this film is incredible for what we got. Because I mean, 500,000 for this film. This film looks great. I mean, we've seen films with way bigger budgets look way worse than this film. I
Name one.
actually, uh, well, now you put me on the spot. I don't know, but we've reviewed films that look worse than this film for the budget. Because I think the design of Jack Frost, even as stupid as it looks, is fantastic. I think that I love the design. Uh, I love the campiness. I love that it's a fucking comedy. It's a horror comedy, but with extreme amounts of comedy. Uh, this this for me would not have worked as well as a straight horror film. I don't think it would be anywhere near. I wouldn't have loved it as much. I fucking love this film. I laugh my ass off every time I watch it. In my soul, this film is a 5. But
But
I have to be realistic. I have to be realistic that this film is not a 5. So I am going to base it off of my enjoyment of the film. and I'm also going to base it off the lack of what the film is. So I'm going to meet in the middle because in my soul this is a 5. I think in reality it's probably closer to what it is in your rating. You said 2 point something.
2.4, just below
2
half.
yeah, 2.4. Realistically, it's probably a 2.4. In my soul it's a 5. So I'm going to meet you a little more in the middle, and I'm going to say 3.6 nerds.
More in the middle. That's like
More
leaning
more
towards
in
the
the,
other
no
side.
no no more in the middle of your rating and my what I feel at a 5.
Okay, fair. Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm gonna land.
3.6?
Yeah, I in my soul this is a 5. This movie is so I laugh start to finish every fucking time. This is a perfect film for what it is.
For those of you who can't see my face and you're just listening to the audio of this, I literally just gasped and put my hand over my face because okay. So I don't know what to say with that one, but hey, Godspeed. I'm glad you enjoy this film, JP.
Hey, just be grateful that I met in the middle between your rating and my rating.
What was the other option between it was Jack Frost or what was the other one?
I
You made
think
me
I was
choose.
going to no, I was going to. I said Jack Frost or so. What happened? Ryan a lot of times we'll send 2 or 3 movies to each other and we'll say pick one. So I had sent him a line of movies, and the options on this one was Jack Frost or the original Bob Clark version of Black Christmas, the
Black Christmas.
seventies,
Yeah.
the 70s version of Black Christmas. So Ryan chose out of my 2 picks Jack Frost instead of the horror classic Black Christmas.
Now, I wanted to choose Black Christmas when we originally talked about these too, because I've never seen Black Christmas, and that was when JP made me aware that there are 2 remakes of Black Christmas, and to me, that turned into a 2 hour to 6 hour review because I would have had to dig into the others and had to know about those too. So this was the easier path. However, I probably I probably would have appreciated Black Christmas a little more.
Well, Black Christmas is kind of the film Black Christmas and Psycho is what really inspired John Carpenter for Halloween. So that kind of tells you the kind of film the original Black Christmas is. The original Black Christmas is fucked up that Bob Clark did that film, but also Bob Clark did A Christmas Story. So he did 2 polar opposite Christmas films, you know, where you had one that had a psycho killer and then another one that was a children's classic Christmas film.
Interesting.
The
Yeah, no, Black
the remakes are maybe we'll do those reviews at some point. And I kind of agree that we may need to talk about all 3.
yeah, and I feel like there's definitely a path in our future where we need to do originals versus remakes on different times of the year because there's so many out there where there's actually a couple remakes that aren't half bad and better than the originals,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to like do them due justice of digging into them for what they are.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Black Christmas ones, I think, because there's 2 remakes. There's a remake and like a reboot type. So there's 2 other ones outside the
Mhm.
original. So I think that would be one that we could definitely tackle maybe next Christmas for a franchise one style remake reboot style episode or something.
Sounds like a plan.
So our ratings are in. Recommendations.
Oh yeah, I got a good one. So I want to talk about the current state of sci-fi. So if you're not a $1 million, like multi-million dollar blockbuster, studios aren't really looking at these. And so when I find a good low budget, uh, quality sci-fi film, I want to talk about it. So recently I found 3 of those. I'm just going to mention the first 2 and then go into the third because the third one's the recommendation. First one being Ash. If you haven't seen Ash, I think I've recommended it before. It's amazing. Next one being Europa Report, also very good. I dug it a lot. But the big one that I want to talk about, I just watched this is Osiris is what it's called. It's free to stream on Hulu. And this is like the CGI in this for the worldly aspect is great. For the space aspects, great. The creatures, their practical effects, and they're amazing. It takes place on a ship. This group of special forces essentially is taken by this alien grouping, and events unfold in throughout the movie. The main one of the main characters of this movie is Linda Hamilton. So it's not a major movie by any means, but I kept seeing it and I kept hearing her. And what put me off, the only reason I didn't watch it for so long was because Linda Hamilton has one of the worst Russian accents ever in this movie. But that aside, the story it's being told here, the simplicity of it, but the beauty of it too. I love this movie. If you like sci-fi, highly recommend it.
And Linda Hamilton showed up in the new Stranger Things season.
With the worst wig I've ever seen. I think it's a wig, or maybe they styled her hair like that. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, she looks well. We're love you, Linda. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I love Linda too. She's one of those people like I applaud her and love her because a she's a badass. She's great in film. She usually plays that badass action chick because she deserves it because she was that in Terminator. Um, so she doesn't really branch or veer off too far, but she's who she is, and she's one of those actresses who is saying, "I'm gonna age how I'm gonna age. I'm gonna look how I'm gonna look. I'm old. I'm not young. I don't need to do plastic surgery," and I applaud that.
Yeah, that's why I'm just gonna say I love you, Linda. That's why I'm gonna just, so yeah. Um, so my recommendation, and this came out today, the day we're filming this, so it'll be a couple weeks prior to this that this came out of this episode releasing. Since we just reviewed what I interpret as a comedy film, I'm gonna recommend a comedy film that just came out re-released today. Dogma.
Okay.
Dogma had its re-release today. Kevin Smith's Dogma, and it's about time. It's been out of print for I think like a decade. Like I've had a DVD copy for years, but DVD copies were a couple $100 online for years, and it's just been hard to find. Kevin Smith got the rights back. There's a 4K that came out today. It hit digital to buy today. I'm saying today, 2 weeks ago now, this episode being released. Um, so I bought it, and it's one of my favorite Kevin Smith films. So if you've never seen Dogma and you're a Kevin Smith fan, it is available again, finally. So that's my recommendation.
I'm not going to say which one, but one of my picks for in 2026 is a Kevin Smith classic that we're going to be digging into. But I'll leave it there. I won't say which.
Maybe we'll do a Kevin Smith week, a couple weeks.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because th- I love it about there's only like maybe one, maybe two of Kevin Smith's films that I'm not fans of, but majority of almost every one of his films I fucking love. So
Cool.
there is that. Alrighty. Uh, well, that's it. The end.
Well,
Sit
not
it.
the end. Hold on. I want to say something real quick. So this is a whole different. This isn't all about movies. This is about just decency, human decency, right? We're going into the holiday season. We got 2 weeks till Christmas. Actually, now a week from today, while you guys are viewing this. So what I want you guys to think about. I normally am all about the comedy and normally all about the jokes, but in seriousness, I want you guys to think about being kind to everyone out there. Everyone's going through something. There's a good movie that was out a long time ago, I think in the late 90s, called Pay It Forward. And I feel like humanity needs to get back to that mindset. You do a kindness, a good deed without any kind of expectation and just spread that kindness, get it out there, especially during this time of year because you never know what someone's going through. So I just wanted to say that while we had this platform.
And to add to that, we just had our Toys for Tots show. Ryan played it with his band. I played it with mine, and we usually have a huge turnout for the Toys for Tots. Well, it was a great turnout for the show, but we usually have a great turnout for the Toys for Tots. I don't know what the actual how the Toys for Tots was this year. It's usually really good. Um, I've honestly not talked to Waylon to know exactly how much was turned in. I don't know if you heard, Ryan. Did you
I
hear?
think Waylon posted it online, but I forgot the exact number. But I was watching the fans carry in like tubs of toys, so
Yeah.
dedicated to it, making sure that kids had a better Christmas, and I loved it. And the best thing about this scenario for the Toys for Tots at these shows is that people are just bringing the toys. It's not you don't get something because you're bringing the toys. It's not like a free admission or anything like that. they're just showing up with these toys to make a difference, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting at is, we just did the Toys for Tots, and I like you, I saw a ton of toys being brought in, and I didn't get the exact number. I usually have the number. Waylon probably did post it. I just hadn't seen it because I've been my antisocial stuff online with not paying attention to much. But that being said, it's Christmas. If there's a Toys for Tots, drop a toy off. If if you call your shelters, like your family shelters or something, talk to the social workers there. See if there's children in need that still need gifts. Reach out and take them something. It don't even have to be anything big. It could be coloring books. Some of these kids will appreciate the smallest of things because they get nothing because of the situations they're in. So if you haven't donated Toys for Tots, or you just want to figure out how to help, call some of your shelters, or call some of your local social workers. They will
So
direct you into the right
so I've
place.
got you. I've got you. Let's I'll further this. Okay, so our mutual friend Tiki,
Hmm.
he and I are both getting. We both have a table. We're both vendors at. It's called Neotac. It's Northeastern Ohio Toy and Collectible Club, and this group. I've been a member of this group for a long time, and they always show up for their the kids and the toys. And we're doing an event the day after. You guys are seeing this on the 18th, and the event is the 19th. It's at the Best Western in North Royalton, Ohio. And Tiki and I will both be there with our own tables, but there's also a Toys for Tots donation bin. At least there always has been in the past. I'll confirm that and drop it in our info, but it's an easy one to try and come to. You can check out toys and collectibles that you might like, movies, you name it. And then on the other flip of that, though, they'll have the toys donation bin.
Okay, so yeah, if you're here local in the Cleveland area, there's that. If not, call your local social workers. Anything to figure out what kid has not got a gift this year. And like I said, it can be as simple as a coloring book. They'll appreciate it. So help the kids. It's all for the kids.
Hell yeah.
All righty. Next week, Christmas night. With our next episode will be Christmas night. We will be here. Uh, it will be on the film, the Christmas classic, Gremlins.
Anyways,
Why did I not get my Gizmo doll out for this? Ah,
it's probably
I'm
still
behind.
sticky. On that note,
All right, until next week. Later.
later, guys.